Hi, I'm Tim Denman, Senior Editor of RIS News, and I'm here at RetailTechCon 2016. And standing next to me is Eugene Roman, the Chief Technology Officer and Senior Vice President at Canadian Tire.
I'm so happy to be here today at what I consider to be the primo conference for retail technology in the world. And it's my second tour of duty. We've already seen some amazing things here. It is the place to be, and I have no association with RIS other than being a fan because of all the things I see and learn from this wonderful bunch of people.
That's something I didn't know we had in common. I also think this is the premier industry event to be at, so thank you for that. So you delivered the opening keynote. It was titled, The New Retail, Personal, Predictive, and Memorable. Can you talk a little bit about what that means? What is the new retail reality?
Well, I got one of your magazines about 4 months ago, and it talked about unified commerce, and it made me think about it. And I'm sitting in Toronto, obviously, on a cold day, wintry day. And I thought about, yeah, that's right, because we were talking about omni-retail, getting past omni-commerce, and we thought for a long time now omni-commerce was going to create all of these walls inside the company and with our customers. And then it clicked and said, yeah, it's about unity, unified commerce, creating that pre-shop, shop, post-shop experience. And it really helped us because, when something's in a published form, you can share it easily. It isn't just, well, I had this idea. And people say, oh yeah, well that's not a bad way to look at it. And that's part of the magic of what RetailTechCon does is sharing of ideas. And the retail world's evolving. It's evolving rapidly. Those that will evolve with it will win. Those that do not will not survive it. That's what we believe, that's what we see, and that's what's happening.
Yes, the retail world is evolving, obviously. And how is Canadian Tire addressing the changing dynamic?
Well, one of the anchors is use of technology, effective use of technology. We've gone at it in a very unconventional, non-industry way. We picked a path we call playing our game. And our approach takes the best of breed, not best practices as we discussed this morning, but best of breed. Where is a great idea? Where can we create leverage or a multiplier effect? So take $1 and say, well, could we return 100 times that over what time frame? It defies ROI thinking. It looks at investments very differently. It also forces our people to be creative and say, well, what's the big idea here? I find in retail, retailers are wonderful people. I'm not a retailer, have become one, I guess. Wonderful people, but they're so busy in the moment. And when you ask them, well, how would you approach this differently? They're full of ideas. All we then do is we filter that and turn it into hot ideas that we actually action. I think we have a formula. It's a sustainable formula. Canadian Tire has always been an innovative company. I think we've taken that to the next level. And we'll continue taking it forward because to not do that means we fall behind. Technology makes new things possible. RetailTechCon is where new things are seen and shared, and we keep moving.
And thanks to all that new technology you mentioned, you guys are able, or all retailers are able to collect mountains of data on the customers on a daily basis through a number of touch points. How do you guys leverage that analytic insight to improve the customer experience?
It's an interesting question because use of analytics is still black art for many companies. We have implemented a powerful data lake. We've gone to the extreme and are working with a number of educational facilities to help us see how to use advanced bots, automation, search engines in different ways. So the ability to predict depends on knowing what's happening both in the moment and in the near moment. Too many analysis are rearward looking. So the question is, what's forward looking? And I think it's like weather forecasting. We actually look at weather forecasting as one way to learn how to predict on retail forecasting. Interesting enough, when I arrived at Canadian Tire, one of the arguments I made with the company is weather influences our business greatly, and it does. And that's now become accepted practice. So use of weather information correlated with sales, some sales history, and also saying, well, when there is a weather event, how does the company react? So being agile at our core is what the analytics is helping us. And we test, and we're actually a very interesting company to study. We look at A/B testing. And we say, well, if this happens, what is the result? And A/B testing is not used heavily in retail. I think you'll see a lot more of that going forward.
Well, Eugene, thank you, and thank you for being our opening keynote. It was a great presentation.
Well, I really enjoyed it, and my hat goes off to you. You are doing yeoman's work. This is not a commercial for RIS. I came here last year, and that one event last year inspired me to do a lot of things that we focused on in this last year. We're getting re-inspired. I brought a bigger team with me, and it's because a great idea is simply a great idea if you act on it. So thank you for that.
Thank you, sir.